Shanti, and welcome. So my name is Kanan, and I'm the one giving the talk to you on this topic, clear the inner cache. So before we begin, I'd just like to take a minute of silence so we can just sit and focus and come into the present. Some Shanti. And so when I was given this topic, it was an interesting topic because I thought, okay, I have to learn a little bit about my computer knowledge. And the word cache is really this internal storage of the CPU, which gets filled up. And daily that data gets stored. And so if the storage is full, then the processing of the computer slows down, right? So when you think about it on a computer level, and I can give a classic example about it today. What happened is I knew that the webcast that we often use wasn't coming on my phone. So for a week, I had kind of let go of it and thought, okay, maybe it's good not to watch the webcast and just to be present. And when I asked today the IT team, they just cleared the cache, and they were laughing because when they cleared it, then it started to work. And I'm like, well, isn't that appropriate for today's topic? Because I didn't know that the reason that it wasn't coming was because the cache was full. And so I'm not that computer literate. And so when I began to understand, I thought, oh, okay, well, this is the right story I can relate to this evening. And so it's the same thing inside on a spiritual journey, is when my memory is filled with all different types of emotions, experiences, thoughts, feelings, vibrations, memories, then it's as if the soul is building some heavy storage inside, and then it needs to clear it out, right? Do you feel it sometimes?
How do you pronounce it?
Cache. C-A-S-H-E. So it's a term that is used in the computer world. So this is a term where it's data that's collected. And even when you're downloading, I'm told, a website or anything, then whatever happens is part of it gets stored inside the computer because easy access. And so whatever you download, whatever you put in, then it uses up the storage at the same time. So it's not only just that, okay, you've stored the data that you've typed in or worked on, but also things that you've downloaded and saved on the computer. That also gets, used up. And so you also have to be aware to keep clear of all of that. And when I know I was given this topic, I was like, oh, I'm so good at this topic. Why? Because I just moved residency. And as I moved, I did a huge clear out, right? Not only of my own things, but also the things of others. And so it was like as if I automatically have come into a space where I've cleared a lot of things, and yet now I can understand, well, going inside and clearing your own inner stuff, how would that feel? Because you do feel a bit emotional. You feel that, oh, you're letting go of certain objects, you're positioning some objects where you feel that you need it, You don't want to give it away because you wouldn't want to buy it again, or you don't want someone to buy it again for you. You have to judge, isn't it, when you're decluttering and you're reorganizing and you're planning. So a lot of thought goes behind your inner storage and your outer storage, both worlds. Yeah. And we all know that, isn't it? There's a quote that says, someone sent me this quote that says, if you want to have a clear out in your mind, clear your closet. So beautiful. Clear your closet, your life will be cleared. So go and check your closets in your own life that you are really working with, and see, well, what's the inner closet of my mind like? How is that looking? Is there a certain pattern, or is it mixed up? And often we know that there's a cycle, isn't it? In the beginning, you've put it right, you've set it, you've organized it, you've had thought behind it. And then eventually, when you start using these objects, what happens? They get displaced, right? And then they get muddled up. And then some things disappear, and then you can't find them. And so when in life we have this, we need to understand everything goes in a cycle. Everything goes in a cycle. And so when I've understood that everything is cyclical, then it's easy. If I'm stuck, oh, this person is always like that. They always have so much stuff. They're always leaving things scattered. They're always hoarding, collecting, storing, and it's such a frustration. They never let go. It's very interesting that when we hold on to the limited and we get impatient, have you found yourself that you're with such people that keep holding it more and more? And when you suddenly appreciate them and love them and really value them for who they are, for what they are as a soul, and not look at that part of them, they suddenly decide to give it away and let go. And then they've changed. So yes, it is a cycle. Yeah, the mind can't hold so much all the time. It has to let go of it. It has to release. How does it do that? How do we release that inner storage, that cache of emotions, of thoughts, of feelings that we're holding on to, that makes it so heavy in there? First, yes, definitely, when you're aware. I would say the first is recognition. So there's a few R's that came up when I was churning about this topic. That I recognize that yes, there is a heaviness. And more often, you can tell that you have heaviness with the way you're walking. If you're heavy and you're walking with a lot of noise, you'll know that the soul is empty. You know that the mind is full. It's loaded because it's forceful. But then if you're light and there's not that much, negativity or waste sitting in yourself, you'll be floating. You'll be walking, but you'll be swift. Have you noticed? You're like an angel, right? Your thoughts are like an angel. You no longer need to control anything. You no longer need to, judge anything. You no longer feel that you need to have doubt for anything. You don't have those thoughts. You're light. Someone can insult you. Someone can, try and test your insecurity. And it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. Because the soul is light. Because those thoughts are not there. Right? So you know that you haven't got that much of a cache to clear. And so when you begin to recognize that, yes, I have heaviness, that there is something, that's when you begin to work on it. So first is recognize. And more often you will recognize when you're detached from yourself. If someone's saying it to you, you won't recognize it. How often do you listen to those who tell you things? Do you listen to them? Not really. You may respect and say yes, yes, but you won't listen to them. But you'll only listen to yourself and then take action. And so listening to your own inner self and reflecting is the second step. Recognizing, fine, but second step is to reflect. Because somebody may have said something, but it won't really matter. You won't really be having the power to implement or to look at it. But when you reflect, you begin to, what do? You begin to work at your thoughts. Now this is the part not many want to do. Yeah, not many want to sit and reflect on the thoughts that they're having. Why? Because it takes time to go inside. To reflect, you have to go inside. And not many want to go inside because it's hard. Once I go inside, I need to actually write. I need to write. I need to ask those hard questions to myself and write. So often reflection takes the form of journaling. I journal. What are the thoughts that are sitting in the mind? And when you write them, you can't see it, it's out there, it's visible. Until you don't write them, you can't see them. You feel them, but they're not visible. So journaling is a very big step for reflection to take place. And how often people need motivation to do that? A lot of motivation, time, encouragement, space. Okay, let's journal this. Right? And often you would have seen also in meetings or seatings or even group discussions or even planning, you would put up a board and you would actually put all those points up there. We recently had a Christmas planning meeting and it was very beautiful, I must say. The first question that was asked to us in the meeting was, in the meeting before that, we had Christmas hats all given to us. So we all have wearing these Santa hats and we're all putting on that, experience of being in Christmas and putting on this hat of planning. And the first question that was asked within the group was, what vision do you have of Christmas? What is your vision? Write 3 words. So part of reflection is to actually begin to recognize, what are my thoughts around this? You need to write them down. And when they were all written down, everyone got excited because everybody's thoughts were like accepted. And once they accept it, it's like you could take them to the next question. And so all of us then were very happy to look forward to the next question. We thought, okay, now we can now really work with everyone's vision. Everyone had a different vision, but everyone's vision was positive. Right? And the next question was, well, what type of activity do you envisage you would feel could happen to really get your vision to manifest? So each of us drew out 3 activities we each could actually, do for the family. Right? And then that was all put up, but none of us judged each other whether it was doable or not. It was fine. Yeah. So when it comes to reflecting and journaling, it really is about that act of putting it out there and just observing it but not judging it or analyzing it. Whether it's possible or not possible or right or wrong, none of that. It is, that's the way it is. And so when I look at my own self in my own journey with my own mind, it's very much the same thing. Why are these thoughts coming here? What is it that I need to still work on? And that's a nice thought, because at least I'll know what I have to focus on, right? Yeah? And then when the answer comes, I just have to focus on it, and that's it. It's simple as that. And when you're journaling, the second part of reflection journaling is to pick and process. Process those thoughts. Begin to pick out the positive, the best, the important, the relevant to your purpose and your goal. Where are you going? What do you want to become? What do you want to become? What's your future? Where do I want to be at the end of the year? Or perhaps, what is it that I want in the next 20 days? Or 21 days, they say. To build a habit, you need 21 days, right? So where do I want to be in 21 days? Inside myself. How do I want to feel in 21 days? So vision and purpose, and doable. Right? And you will begin to see, well, you have that vision and purpose, you have that goal, but then what is stopping me to achieve that goal? I need to also look at the threats, the obstacles that stop me from getting there. What is it stopping me? And I'm so aware that if we think about what's stopping me, you will have a huge list. and often it's described as excuses, isn't it? Yeah, we're very good at creating the excuse list. Have you noticed? Right? Oh, I want to reach there. I know I can. There is this potential, but this is BUT that comes in. Or however, the however comes in, and then there's this big list. Okay. And so you got the list of obstacles, that this is the reason or the excuse that it's not getting there. That it's not happening, that it's not clearing, your cache is not clearing. And so often this is the barrier. And so how do I work with excuses? How do I work with that part of me that always kind of like distracts from the goal? How do I work with that? It's called in the modern world this word procrastination, isn't it? Right? Like one of the biggest enemies, because often we find that you're like this information junkie and just collecting and getting stimulated by so much out there that you don't know what to do with that content. Yeah. So when you get distracted, you're actually increasing your cache. The mind is getting more and more cluttered. And so I need to work at refocusing on my purpose again and again, reinforcing that. And how am I going to keep on reinforcing my purpose? What's the best method? Anyone? To realign to my purpose. Best method. It's very simple, actually. Very simple. It's to be in the present. Here. Have you noticed when you have thoughts of the past, why, what, when, if, but, who, how, where, you notice what you look like? Do you know your body language? How you look? You look like this wandering yogi. It's a wandering angel, just wanders around. Yeah. You're never really going somewhere. You're wandering, you're pondering. You're busy wasting your time looking out and for, and busy picking here and there, and it's just useless. You're wasting. And so those are the excuses that we accumulate. We accumulate those excuses. by wondering. I wonder if, but what then, and how this? Now what are you going to do by wondering? You're just going to make yourself more overwhelmed. So overwhelming thoughts that make you so heavy, are self-generated. No one makes me overwhelmed. It's my habit of trying to believe that if I know more, then I will be better at doing what I do. True? Yeah? And I'm often like that. I got a culprit of that because I always feel if I know, then I'm aware, then I can plan, and then I have more power to do. And then often I've realized that when the plan goes off an angle, that's when, I go off the angle. Not all the time, but majority of the time you feel you have to let go and just let the plan flow and do plan B or C or D, right? And so when you begin to become aware of your purpose, you're less focused on collecting the wandering intellect's stuff. Less focus on that. Less on worrying about the past. Oh, this person did this to me. I felt like this when they said this, and better not do this. You've judged it already based on your past emotions, right? And so you can never then reach your purpose and goal. It is so hard. So all this is part of, the echo, I would say, of the emotion. All this is part of the wandering mind, the wandering intellect, I would say, into the past or the future. And therefore, if I really want to achieve what I am aiming to do and become in my life in 21 days, then I need to become very powerful in being in the present. Bringing the mind and intellect into the present. So how much am I helping myself be in the present? And how much am I helping others to also be in the present? Because sometimes we're in the present, but we're busy making other people go into the past too. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed? It's called the control issue. So I'm in the present, but I'm testing if others are in the present or not. But that is also not right, because that also comes back as an echo. So the action I perform is what I need to become aware of. The words that I share, I need to become very aware that what are those words doing? What's the ripple of this word? And so the secret of actually being in the present is about going into silence. What type of silence? The silence of observing, the silence of going inside and just deeply connecting and working. So that's why when I reflect, I need inner silence. And the next step is to refresh. The third step is I refresh myself. So I know all this baggage. I'm aware of all this procrastination, this wandering, that's making me very overwhelmed, lazy, procrastinating. But then I need to refresh it all. How am I going to do that? Where is the power going to come to reset and refresh? Where is it all going to come? Because when you're faced with a challenge, it hurts, right? It's really like at your face. How are you going to refresh? Of course, at the Brahma Kumaris here at Inner Space, we all have programs that help you to learn and maintain your practice of meditation, right? So there are certain practices that help us to, during the day, help us to really refresh ourselves from the inside. One is the every hour meditation of 1 minute. I don't know how many of you practice that, but certainly here, every hour there's a music that is played. 1 minute. And in that 1 minute we stop and we just take the opportunity to go inside. And often I like doing that. I've taken a lot of happiness sitting in that 1 minute and really connecting back to the soul, that I am that beautiful point of light, that shining star, that sparkling, beautiful star that is eternal. And I go in and I remind myself of that magnetic power within me. That eternal, no one creates it, no one can destroy it. That star that's filled with all the qualities of love, peace, power, truth, wisdom, purity, and bliss. And every time I think of the soul, I fuel that quality of awareness with these thoughts. That I am this beautiful, sparkling, tiny point of divine light, like a star, like a white, bright, sparkling diamond star. And these are the thoughts that if I just muscle into that minute every hour, it begins to grow. So first, not only do I create it, but I begin to become it, I feel it. And that refreshes the entire mind and intellect and subconscious. It does. Well, certainly it does for me. And it doesn't happen just overnight. It does take time. But the more you persist, the more it becomes easy. And the more you just go on it, it begins to work. And so some feel, well, they can't visualize the star. Some feel they can't create the thought, it's not doing anything for them. Some rather just, think about it. But actually you can visualize it. It is possible. We do have a memory. And it is possible to remember that which gives us happiness. And that which keeps us in concentration and focus. And so when I become aware that I am this beautiful star, this shining light, this soul, this eternal being, and I meditate with that awareness and attention, then it's as if I begin to connect to my original self, my true self. Because it is the soul that actually drives the body. I, the soul, am the Raja, the king of this body. I'm not the Raja and the king of others. No. I can never be. Why? Why? Simple answer. They too are a king of their body. They too are souls, they too are shining lights, they too are beings of peace, a ruler of their own body. And they too are my brothers. And so I create that soul-to-soul connection with that awareness in my relationship. I recognize that. And often that it's easy to be soul-conscious with those who don't know you. Isn't it true? It's easy to have love and peace and purity and truth and wisdom with those who are just new to you. But it's very hard to have it for those who you've known for years and years and years, right? And yet if you've managed to have that with those who you know for years, then it's as if you've kind of got it right. Because you are able to accept them the way they are, as they are, and deepen your understanding of yourself as a result of that relationship. And so to refresh your mind, I always feel the best tip is think about yourself as a soul and the relationship you have with this body. And you will reset. Oh, it's like the iPhone button in the phone. There's only one button, isn't it? The reset button. The one button that you reset and it's done. You've gone back again. And so finally, yes, I know I can reset and refresh, right? But then I also want to delete. True? True? I also want to delete. I don't want it back again, do I? So how do I delete? How do I actually get it out of my system forever so that I don't have to deal with it? I don't have it coming back again and it's gone. Yeah. The same problem never comes back. It's a different problem. Problems are problems. But at least the same one doesn't keep coming back. So it means it's deleted. It's not there. For that, you need to take yourself to a higher consciousness, beyond this body, beyond this universe, beyond the physical domain. Up above, in the soul world, the world of the metaphysical, that's the spiritual domain, the world of golden red light, the spiritual world, the world where souls belonged, the world where the Supreme Soul, the Divine Being, exists. That's our original residency. That's where we, the souls, came from. And so when I begin to accept that I am that soul that came from that land that is free from all thoughts, free from all words, free from all noise, free from all the elements, free from all the vices. You're free from anything physical. That's when there's real peace. And in that stage, when I connect to the Supreme Soul, and I take power from the qualities that are unconditional, unlimited, from the Supreme Soul that's a point of light, and I take power, then that power begins to dissolve all past feelings, all past emotions, all past memories. But for that I need to take my mind and intellect to that level of consciousness. It's almost like what you call God consciousness. Yeah, and you take it to that level where you're actually then feeling that purifier, the fire that burns all negativity. And that's what we call yoga. The soul is in union with the Supreme Soul, and I burn all sins deep within my subconscious, of all past births, of all past actions, of memories that are deeply entrenched. And for this I require deep silence and stillness. It's hard work. It's not easy work. But it's work that is doable. I am able to do it. And when I begin to do it, it begins to clear a huge amount of energy. And in that light, you feel all your blockages released. All the emotional blocks go. They just go. And it's like the soul spiritually heals all over again. And then you really feel the shift in your lungs. Your lungs start opening. Anything that's blocked even within the physical body starts unblocking. And in that deep yoga, it's like all your waste, all your heavy energies have just disappeared. And when do we do this work? Often it is said early in the morning, when you wake up early in the morning when all is quiet, and you do that work, it's the most effective. And it is important. Why? Because that's where change starts to happen from. That's where transformation begins to happen. And why is it important for transformation? Why? Especially in today's world, why is it important to clear your cache, your inner cache? Look at the time that we're in. Look at the time that we're in the world today. Things are getting so complicated. Things are getting so uncertain. We don't know tomorrow what we're going to be doing. We don't know which way the world's going to turn. We don't know what nature is going to throw at us. Nobody knows, actually. And so, if I've maintained a very clean inner world and a strong connection with the divine, and that, safety net of the mind linked to the inner world powerfully, then it's as if I create a safety, a security around me. That angelic consciousness then begins to serve at a different level. I no longer am fearful of doubt, fear, anxiety, worry, tension. I'm resilient. And so the more I practice that, the more I'm able to become a guiding light of safety. And the more I'm able to empower all the souls, all the family members, or even friends, whoever you're with, around you in your circle. And so the recognition that, yes, I, the soul, need the Supreme Soul to keep myself clean and clear at all times. And we watched this in Daddy Chanki, who's late, our senior yogi, who was the pioneer and founder of all the activities for the Brahma Kumaris in the West, in the UK, especially London. We watched her. She used the power of silence. She always used to practice it in a very physical way too. We always heard this from her, that she used to keep her room so tip-top that she would have this feeling in her heart that she would say, I've been around the world, there's no place like my room. No one's got the room I have, because she would have such pride in it that it was always organized and always cleaned and always went back, resetted to its normal state all the time. Never had clutter. I don't remember a moment. Never. It was always fresh and clean. It's just because she kept it like that. She liked it like that, and it always went back, and those around her knew that. I remember putting a shawl once on one of her chairs when I entered a room once, long time back, must be 20 years ago. And I just went inside to see her, and as she came out, she goes, whose shawl is that? And I said, it's mine. So she goes, why is it there? I said, well, I just kept it, so I took it back. But you can see that she wouldn't want anybody's stuff hanging around in her room, so that she'd have to think about even their object of them. And it was a very deep nature of hers, keeping things tidy and tip-top, not having things lying around. especially the way she would fold her shawl. It had to be folded absolutely to the corners. And she would watch how you would fold it. She wouldn't like just, kind of like put it there. She wouldn't accept that. And so the attention to detail, and you can see that here today. Look at all the centers that she'd actually been pioneered to create today, was because of her standard of living. And she kept her mind like that too. Her mind was phenomenal. Daddy Janki's mind, phenomenal mind. She had an amazing memory. I was surprised once when I was in Mount Abu with her, and it was a time when so many were coming to see her. These were the days when mobiles didn't exist. I remember very well. So many came to see her, and she'd asked me, can you, translate this class that she had related? And I said, yes, sure. But it meant that I needed to look for a computer. It meant that, I had to go to the computer when it was free, and I know that the computer that I was looking for was always busy, and I wouldn't be the one to be allowed to use it, fast enough. So I would kind of like wait. And she'd ask me the next day, have you done it? And I said, no, it's not happened yet. But I couldn't explain. And then the third day, 2 days, 3 days, and she'd still ask me, and I'm thinking she still remembers. Out of hundreds coming to her, hundreds, and she still remembered. You haven't translated that? And I said, I'm doing it today, I'll do it. And it was amazing, the 3 days it took, but she didn't let go. And it was just a small class. Her memory was phenomenal. She never forgot. It wasn't that she wasn't giving me other tasks. She gave me other tasks. I was finishing them. But that other task that first she gave, she still remembered. You haven't done that? Phenomenal memory. She didn't need to write it down, that she needs to do this and this and get this and this done. Phenomenal. And she could calculate numbers in her mind without a calculator. She could translate very fast. Very fast. She was good at maths, even at that age. And you could see that with her organs also, her eyes. She never needed glasses till age 104, she never needed it. Only reading, that's it. But if they were off and she could see you, that's you, isn't it? So very sharp eyes. So you can see even her mind and her organs were even, supporting her. So when you're in that state of pure awareness and attention, and her relationship with the divine was, amazing. Always felt that that one was working through her. She was the instrument. Then it's as if that model makes you remember and remind you that yes, this is possible, it does work. And so how many of us are willing to take up that challenge? That yes, we can do it too. It is possible if I just continue. Yeah, I continue. And it's so simple. Point of light consciousness. What more are we doing? Does it work? Well, of course it works. It does work if you make it work for you. It won't work if you think about it. It won't work if you think about it. It will work only when you do it. And so when you begin to work on soul consciousness on yourself, then yes, you can clear a lot of history. A lot of storage gets released. And space for what? Space for new storage. Space for new creativity, for new innovation. Do new things. Experiences that are so new that you've never thought of in your life. And so it is possible. You do get then the courage to do what you never did before that you were looking for. And then that whole aspect where Are you able to fulfill the dream that actually you were on this planet to fulfill? You know, sometimes we dream, right? We dream that, oh, I wish I had this, or wish I could do this, or wish this could happen, or wish that could happen. And then suddenly you find people in your life that crush your dream, right? Notice when you have these big dreams or big castle images in your life, and imagine somebody telling you, oh, stop building big castles, it doesn't happen, and you're like, oh, but you can feel it, right? But you don't have the courage because people put you off. How often you feel that? But when your mother tells you, no, dream about it, do it, I'm there for you, how do you feel? Do it, I'm there for you. How do you feel? You feel it's possible, isn't it? Don't you suddenly feel, oh, maybe it is possible. My mom's telling me I can do it. Or my dad's telling me I can do it. My gosh, it must be possible. But it's like as if when your parents tell you it's not possible, you feel it's totally impossible. Isn't it? Right? So are you going to wait for that? Are you going to wait for some human being to tell you it's possible or not possible? No. Don't wait. They will automatically say it is possible. When will they say it is possible? When they see that you are happy and you deserve happiness. When they see that you are responsible and you're willing to change and grow and shift and sacrifice and serve others and take responsibility. When they see that you are not willing to be dependent on anyone or anything for your livelihood. When they see you're ready to take responsibility of your emotions and your feelings and you're not blaming anybody for it. When they see that yes, you are able to grow things, you can shift, you can design, you can solve problems and help. It is possible. You don't get disheartened. They see all those worthiness qualities. They see that you're actually willing to help. And that feeling makes someone believe that yes, you have a right, go for it. And God gives us that right. The Supreme Soul gives us that feeling because we are His children. But when will that feeling come alive? Two things, thought and time. And there's a rhyme here, thought and time. And in Hindi, it's beautiful. Sankalp, samay. Sankalp is thought, samay is time. According to the right time, you have the right thought. When the thought is created for the right time, there's a synchronicity. Thought and time, and you put it in action. Valuing these two. But when will they come in action? When will these two synchronize and work together? When there is truth and cleanliness. It's very clean. Very truthful, meaning in Hindi, satyata or swachhta. And Daddy often used to give big classes on this. Truth and cleanliness. Satyata is truth and safai is cleanliness. That deep level of honesty and deep level of cleanliness in the heart. That I have no animosity towards anyone, even myself. Sometimes we think, oh, I don't hate anyone, I don't have anything negative towards anyone, but I do feel that for myself, I'm not that good enough. Even that I let go. I let go of even judging myself. That you are God's child, you're good as you are. Keep moving forward. Keep changing, keep being light, be joyful, be happy, and just dance inside. Move. flow. Yeah? But truth is very important. It's not that you go with also the flow of negative thoughts, no. You have to stop negative thoughts. You have to stop your spiral of that pattern and then hold on to truth. Because if you don't stop it, your truth will get mixed up with it. And that's called influence. So truth is something very, very important to keep alive in your life. When will truth stay? When you're authentic with all your qualities of the soul: peace, love, happiness, power, truth, wisdom, purity, bliss. These are the qualities that you have to keep muscling every day with the awareness that you're a soul. It's as simple as that. And then you will see you burnt all your sins. You will see it's gone when you're in that connection with the divine. And you're just going to reboot, completely refresh and start off new. It's deleted. So fuel yourself with positive thoughts. And that's why you come here. You listen to good content and you fuel yourself with new feelings. And then the same information, but you've seen it in a different way, in a different story, in a different pattern, with a different light. And something lights up within you. So I'm going to end here and see if you have any questions or comments, because I'm seeing the time now. And anyone online also, I think we're online too today. Any thoughts? How do you feel? No questions means you've understood everything. Or you've understood nothing. That's what I'm told. Huh? That's why Santa Claus is so happy, you know. You see, Santa goes flying off chimney to chimney, right? And dropping parcels of gifts every now and then everywhere. Right? The ho ho ho. Christmas is coming soon. Right? So you're all ready to clear things, right, to the end of the year. Making a new resolution. Yes, question. The mic is just coming for the online. Okay. The mic. It's okay.
So when we clear our cache, if we spend time to meditate and introspect, are we sort of organizing it in our mind, that what things have happened and what our thoughts are? Or are we trying to focus on something that is a priority, something that is important?
It's important to know what you are focusing on so that you can transform it. So when you're reflecting, you'll often find out, oh, this is what I have to change. This is not a good feeling. I don't want to feel like this. And then you'll notice, what is it that you need to think? What new thought do you need to put in place to stop feeling like that? For instance, if you're feeling a loss and you're upset with somebody, example, we've been there, isn't it? But then if you use the thought, I forgive you, I'm grateful for all that you have done, you let go of the grudge and you let go of the ill feeling. So you're focusing on that feeling and trying to change the feeling. You're not focusing on the person. The person is never the problem. It's the feeling that you feel as a result of that is what you're trying to burn. So you have to forgive yourself for feeling that. Forgive that. And forget and release and be grateful. Because gratitude is very connected. Holding on to gratefulness will help you to have pure good wishes towards that person, but also towards that situations and circumstances that's emerged. And that habit is so healthy for us. That's how you clear everything. It's a simple tip, but that's all you need to do. That's why they say at the end of the day, reflect and thank God for the whole day. Have you noticed? It's like in all religions. But we don't do it. Why? Because we don't have time, we're tired. But we have to do that. We have to sit and be grateful and thank God for everything that's happened during the day. It's a spiritual clearance that you need to do every day. You remember those days where you would sit and you would sit in silence and eat, and sit together on a table and eat in a family. That we were doing that automatically and eating in silence. What were we doing at that time? We first were thanking God for the food that we had on the plate, and then eating with that gratitude for every little thing we had. That is the right way to actually live. But again, because of the fast-paced world, we've forgotten. And then we become chatty and talky and ordinary, and we forgot God, and we're not letting others even remember God when they eat. So what happens? All sorts of stomach issues.
So it's important to pause for prayer
yes.
At certain points in the day.
Definitely.
Just to keep yourself calm and not get too overwhelmed.
Yeah.
With things. Yeah.
Thank you for that question. Okay, so it's time, and we can end, unless you have anything burning. Good? Nice. So let's sit in a beautiful reflection. I would say meditation more than reflection. And whatever feelings you have, let's burn it. And I won't say it's going to get burnt forever. Needs to keep happening. So at least you know a pattern that you can use to repeat. Yeah? Because we're never perfect, right? But we aim to keep doing it. So let's let go of all the tension in the body and just relax and let go of all the muscles that you're holding on to in your body. Breathe in and breathe out. And sitting in silence, I take my attention away from the surroundings, becoming present here, now, in this room. I let go of the outer world and step into the awareness that I am a soul, a sparkling star sitting in the middle of my forehead, behind the eyes, radiating brightly. I, the soul, am peaceful, pure, powerful, truthful, blissful, benevolent, and loveful. And in this moment, I step out of this physical domain, beyond this globe, beyond the universe, into the land of peace, the world of light, of golden red light, where I can visualize the Supreme Soul, the point of light, whose rays are filled with unconditional love, truth, purity, bliss, and purity that cleanses the entire subconscious. Allow the waves of love to dissolve all blockages in the soul of the past. Breathing in and breathing out. Visualize that sparkling light like a laser penetrating deep within your subconscious, burning all the sins for many birds that are sitting in you, clearing the cache within your entire system. And feel the cleanse happening. And in this silence, I, the soul, can breathe the spiritual oxygen of life. Letting go of all past hurt, letting go of all past pain. And in this, I consciously make a promise to choose words, to choose thoughts that are aligned to my purpose. To my goal of who I want to be, how I want to be, with that royalty, divinity, and reality. With the authentic self, the original self in my vision. I keep the goal very clear. So that whatever I do in life, I begin to draw the line of my fortune, of my future destiny, with actions that benefit and serve. That give happiness. I visualize respect in all relationships, with matter, with others, and with myself. Now, come back into this dimension, holding on to this feeling of spiritual light. Feel it in every cell in your body. You, the soul, are now aware and awake to choose the right thought, what to do. To recognize, to reflect how to do it, and to implement. Visualize yourself implementing with balance, with subtlety, with compassion and mercy. I tread in this life with the awareness of my past, present and future in mind. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanan, for the wonderful talk and all the tips given. Before we go, there's a few announcements. Next week talk, can everybody hear me? Yeah, okay. Next week talk, same time, same place, and a topic is the power of saving. Our every Sunday morning meditation, which is online, and timing for that is 10 to 10:45. You can register through our website to get a link. Also, we do have a overcoming anger, which is on Wednesdays and Thursdays, 19th and 20th of this month. Timing for that is 5:30 to 7 in the evening, which is in person. You can also register through our website. And a regular reflective meditations, which is every Mondays and Thursdays, 7 to 7:30 in the evening, which is in-house, so everybody is welcome to join that. So once again, thank you for joining us, and thank you to all our online viewers as well, and have a safe journey back home. Thank you.